Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Sony A6400. Now this is the kit that includes the 18 to 135 millimeter lens, priced at roughly $1,300 US. It is not inexpensive, but I would argue that this is a whole lot of camera for that price. So without further ado, the first thing I'm going to point out here on the packaging is that this is the first APS-C mirrorless camera from Sony that has both an EVF as well as a screen that flips all the way around. And yes, touch screen capability as well. You can see the lens I just mentioned right there. The biggest enhancement, other than that flip around screen, is its autofocus prowess. That's the other thing that is noteworthy. In terms of accessories, the battery type has stayed the same. We now have video profiles, which are nice, but here are the specifications before I get it out of the box. You can see, of course, that we have an APS-C 24.2 megapixel sensor. Your ISO range right there, 100 to 32,000, up to 11 frames per second shooting, 425 points of phase detection for your autofocus. Of course, contrast still on there as well. It is a hybrid system. Real-time eye autofocus, real-time tracking, silent shooting, and then touch for focus as well as shutter control. So without any other hesitations, reservations, let's get this thing out of the box. I know a lot of you have been waiting for a new body from Sony when it comes to APS-C. I'm one of them. Now, while at first glance, for me personally, this isn't, get the paperwork out of here, the upgrade that I was really hoping for. I'm really waiting for the successor to the A6500. Still nothing wrong with a successor to the A6300. And that's how I view this. So first and foremost, let's get the lens out. Included lens hood right there. I'm going to just put everything to the side and then show you each part. We've got our camera strap as well as our hood for our EVF right there. Our brick for charging the included battery, which again has not changed from previous generations. So if you already own an A6300, A6000, quite frankly, any of the Sony APS-C mirrorless cameras, you have the right battery already, and they're not expensive. Here's your Type A to micro USB, or what Sony will call multi-port. I don't think there's anything else down there, but I'll check it out after I get the camera body out, because that's what I really want to share with all of you. And as you might have already imagined, I will be comparing this to the A6300 as well as the A6500, and I expect good things. I mean, as I mentioned, now here we are finally looking at it. What this body really brings to the table is that fully articulating screen. You can see instead of stopping here where traditionally the LCD screen would, it bumps out, lifts up, and now we have the ability to do some self-framing. So that's definitely a nice add-on. I think we will see this on other models. Sony has not really said whether or not this is going to become a standard feature. We have touchscreen capability back here. Everything else pretty much looks the same. In fact, I will reach and bring over the A6300, and this is the 6500, and you'll see very similar in terms of what the backside of the camera looks like. Pretty much everything is in the exact same position. Nothing really new except for the bump out that we have right here. And of course, as we all know, that screen fully flips around. Still have a built-in flash right here, as well as a hot shoe. Everything else pretty much appears to be the same. Microphone array right here at the front of the body. That has been the case with previous gens, so that's not new. For those of you wondering if they were on the top, they were not. And in terms of the actual profile of the body, just looking down, almost identical to the A6500. Same applies to the A6300. So interested in the body, but again, the key differentiating factors of this model versus the 6300 or the 6500 really comes down to that screen being able to flip all the way around, the improved autofocus system, video profiles, screen brightness remaining full when capturing 4K video, which is nice. No recording limit anymore on 4K video, but that I think wasn't really because Sony was trying to give us what we wanted. I think that has to do with taxing some tax-related laws in terms of whether or not this fit the profile of a still versus video camera. Our HDMI out, microphone jack, as well as our micro USB, aka Sony's multi-port, right there on the left side of the body. Wi-Fi and NFC still on board. You can see the NFC contact point right here. And I'm excited to see what this thing can do, frankly, and I will be shooting with it today. Again, this is all about the autofocus capability, no in-body stabilization. Now let's take a look at that 18 to 135 lens. And I'm excited about playing with this because it's been a while since I've reviewed a E-mount lens, a native E-mount lens. And what I really like about this is not that we're expecting perfection, but rather that you're getting an incredibly low profile lens that gives you a very broad scope of range. In terms of pricing, I think it's roughly $500 on its own. That is, again, US dollars. But when you think about being able to put this together, which I'm going to do right now for all of you, it seems like a great pairing. Of course, I'm not expecting prime type capability from this. There's the sensor. For those of you wondering, don't freak out. I'm not in a completely dust-free environment, but still a pretty good one. A little bit loose there on the cap. I'm not sure why. Let's go ahead and get this connected. You do have the ability to turn off your autofocus right here with this switch. And I really think this just makes for a very nice kit. I mean, it is compact. Now with its new autofocus capability, hopefully I would say a substantial step in the right direction. Not to say that the A6300 or 6500 were bad, but each generation is supposed to improve. And again, to have this sort of focal range in such a compact form factor is really impressive. On the bottom, we have our battery bay, as well as, of course, our SD card slot, and then our tripod mount right there. And that pretty much sums things up. It's a nice little kit. At $1,300, I think it's great for beginners, amateurs, hobbyists, enthusiasts. Of course, if you're doing paid events, this is probably not the right lens for you. That doesn't mean that you can't get great images out of it. You're just going to be better suited looking at other options, is what I would say at the end of the day here. But again, there it is, the A6400 in all of its glory. I'm going to make sure there's nothing else that I left in the box. I don't believe that there is, but I'm just going to do a double check. And no, yeah, that is it. So looking forward to testing it out. I'm going to hit the streets today, literally, and of course give you feedback. The lens hood, well, it's a plastic lens hood. But again, I do think this is a compelling kit. Of course, you can go with the pancake kit or body alone at $899. The pancake kit is $1,000. The pancake lens is fine. That's the one you saw on the A6500 body right here. To me, this is the more compelling piece of kit glass, even still maintaining a really compact form factor, in my opinion. But my favorite E-mount APS-C lens is the one I have right here on the A6300. That is the 10 to 18, which you better believe I will be testing with this camera. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.